Okay, so welcome everyone to this yoga flow practice. So today's theme, we're going to be working on space. Okay, so when I say space, I mean space, what's around us, space in our physical body, space up here in your head, so in your mind, between your thoughts, in your thoughts, space in your breath, and space in anything else that you want to. You can go a little bit deeper in that as well, okay? Space in maybe in your movements, and space in, what else do I want to say? Space, just thinking about expansion, okay? So just before we get into that, sometimes there's some issues getting into poses, which is totally fine. So we might, if we do anything on the knees and you're not able to do anything on the knees, then all you do is stand up. So if we were, for example, if we were doing something like we're in tabletop and we're going to be doing cat and cow, all you do is stand up or sit on a chair, and we can just bend over and we can do cat and cow this way. Okay, and if we were going to do anything like this, like our bird dog, you would just do the same thing standing up. So we have one arm up and one leg up, okay? And we balance that. And you can always use a chair or a wall to help you with that stability, okay? And if all of that fails and that doesn't work for you, then just imagine that you're doing it, okay? So I just wanted to go over that a little bit. Okay, so let's just start in a seat. Okay, and sit up nice and tall. So sitting however you like. Okay, and then close your eyes. And then just be aware of the space that you are in right now. And visualize that space as if it's really, really big, even though you might be in a small room. Just think of the space as the ceiling is extending way, 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 way up above your head, and the walls are moving outwards, and the floor is going down even further. So you're in a lot of space. You have a lot of space around you. And then just notice how you feel in that space. And you can feel any way you like. And then notice how much space that you're taking up right now on your mat, where you are. Do you feel small in your space, or do you feel like you're taking up a lot of space? And again, everyone's going to feel a little bit differently there. Just notice that. And then come into yourself and notice what's happening in your body. So we're just going to do a little body scan right now, just noticing how your body is overall. So those muscles, those joints, the ligaments, those organs. And then go ahead and go up into your mind. A little check-in there as well. So we're just checking in with ourselves, Patsy. So just sit comfortably, eyes closed, and begin to do your check-in. Our theme today is space. So as you're checking out what's happening in your mind, notice the space that's up there. Notice maybe if it's really organized up there or if it's chaotic. Notice the space between the thoughts as they come and they go. Notice your feelings and your emotions. And then become aware of your breath. And as you watch yourself breathe, again, be aware of the space that you are breathing in. So in your physical body. Notice how expansive that inhale is and how much you contract as you exhale. Notice the way the breath is moving, how deep it is or how shallow it is, how quick or slow it is. Notice as much as you can of the way that you're breathing. And then with every breath, allow that breath to grow just a little bit. So every breath you take, allow that breath to grow. So every breath is going to get a little bit bigger, a little bit deeper, a little bit slower, a little bit longer. And when we're talking about space, the more space we have in our bodies and in our minds and in our breath, the more we have to work with. When everything gets tight, that's when we have difficulties. So that's when anxiety comes and tension and stress, depression. Everything is kind of rolled up into a little ball and it becomes messy, disorganized and chaotic. We want to have room. We want to have some clarity. We want to have some more openness. And so the more space we can give ourselves, the more we're able to move freely through our thoughts and physically. And even through our speech as well, too. Okay, so now we're getting right into our yogic breathing. The breathing is deeper and it's moving in through our tummies. The tummies are growing. And then you can feel the sides of the body expanding too. And then with your eyes closed, just feel how yourself are sitting. So do you feel like your throat is open? Do you feel as if your face is open and your shoulders are open? So you want to really open up through the clavicle and the chest and the lungs. So let's bring the shoulders up towards our ears and then roll them down and back. So let's really try to open up the chest a little bit more. Shoulders up towards the ears, down and back. We'll do that a couple more times. Up towards the ears, down and back. And one more time. Up towards the ears, down and back. And then we're just going to allow the hands just to either fall onto the ground or on our laps, trying to really expand through the chest. So we're not constricting through the shoulder blades to in the back. We're not bringing our shoulder blades together. We're still trying to open up through the back as well, too. So we're trying to find some balance here. Okay, and then bring your awareness to the sides of your body and feel the space there. And through your hips, through your legs, through your feet, and then through your spine. So bring your attention to your spine and see if you can root down through your seat a little bit more and then lift up through the crown of your head a little bit more to lengthen through the spine. So that will create a lot more space between the vertebrae. Because gravity kind of tends to push everything down and compact. We want to lengthen as much as we possibly can. And that will give us space to move and bend. Okay, so with that breath, we're just gonna start to move our right arm. We're gonna inhale our right arm up, feeling the space grow, and then move it down by the side of our body. Okay, towards the side. So we're lifting that right arm towards the right, lifting it up. Just lift it up as high as you can, feeling the space in you through your armpit, through the side of your body, and then move it down. And we're gonna do that one more time. Inhale it up. This time we're gonna leave it up there. You can bend into the elbow a little bit. Okay, and then we're gonna place that hand and place it on top of our heads. Okay, and then we're gonna side bend over towards the left side. So we're gonna do a little side bend here. Feeling ourselves opening up and creating even more space in that right side of the body. And then come back up again as we inhale. Do that 2 more times. Exhale over towards the left side. Inhale, come back up. Again, we're trying to create space here. So try to keep some space between your ear and your shoulder too. Don't have it hunched up like that, okay? And exhale over towards that left side again. And then inhale, come back up. Bring the arm up into the air and then float it all the way back down. And then relax that arm. And then just do a check-in on that right side. Okay, let's do the same thing with the left side. So the left side, we're gonna inhale, float that left arm up, and then bring it back down as we exhale. So creating some space in through the left side of the body. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale, bring it down. And it doesn't matter how high you lift it up, it might not go that high. Inhale, lift it up, keep it up here this time. And then we're gonna take the hand and place it on top of our heads. Okay, so we're not really smacking our heads. We're just gently resting the hand on the top of our head, still lengthening up through the spine. Okay, and then on our exhale, we're gonna side bend over towards the right side. Opening up through that left side of the body. And then inhale, coming back up. Exhale, over. Inhale, back up. And one more time. Exhale it over. Inhale it back up. Good, reach the arm up again, left arm up, and then float it down by the side of your body. Okay, and then just compare the left and the right sides of your body. Good, okay, so we're gonna take our hands and we're gonna reach them back behind us, and we're gonna kind of lean into our hands. So if you're sitting on a pillow or anything, you might need to get off of it or put your hands off the pillow, okay? You can go onto your fingertips too. So we're gonna just open up the chest a little bit more. So we're gonna inhale, we're just gonna lift up a little bit, pushing into the hands or the fingertips, and then exhale, come back, okay? Inhale, lift up, opening up, shining that heart up towards the ceiling. Exhale, come back. So we're not collapsing here. We're rounding out through the back. We're still keeping a nice level back, okay? 2 more times. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, come back to center. 1 more time. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, come back to center. And lean yourself into your center position here. Okay. We're going to give ourselves a little hug. Okay, and we're gonna try to grab hold of those shoulder blades. Don't force it though, you might not happen, you might only get to here, that's okay. Okay, so we're gonna create some space through the back now, okay? So we're gonna inhale, and we're gonna round out a little tiny bit, but we're gonna try to push between the shoulder blades. Push outwards. And then inhale, relax. So we're gonna take a breath, exhale, squeeze, and inhale to relax. So we're squeezing here in the chest more, okay? So we're kind of rounding out, okay? So inhale, push, and exhale. I got that all wrong. You know what? Breathe how you need to breathe. Breathe how you need to breathe. So we're trying to spread the shoulder blades out. I feel like I want to breathe in here, although that doesn't make any sense, but that's what I'm doing. So you do you. Do that one more time. And relax. Okay, bring the arms down and just wiggle around a little bit. Okay, let's just open up through our throat. So inhale, lift up. So creating some space here. Exhale, forward fold here with the neck. Inhale, lift up. And bring the chin down. So we're creating space through the back of the neck. One more time. And exhale. Good. Okay. So we're going to move into cow and cat. So your choice, whether you're on your hands and knees, or you can stand up, or you can sit down to do it, okay? So I'm gonna do one of each. We're gonna do it 3 times. So I'm gonna do with sitting. I'm gonna do one sitting, one on my hands and knees, and one standing, okay? So you do what works best for you. Okay, and we're going to inhale and exhale. So inhale, open up through the chest. Exhale into our cat. So we're creating space in the back here. Inhale into our cow, creating space in the front. Okay, and I'm going to come onto my hands, knees, and do the same thing. Inhale into our cow. Exhale into our cat. One more time. I'm going to stand. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Good. And then come back to center. Okay. So if you're in your tabletop, stay in your tabletop. If you're standing up, stay standing up. We're going to do a bird dog. So we can curl the toes under. We're going to reach the right arm up and bring the left leg back. Okay, so we're going to find some balance here. If you need a little bit of padding underneath your knee, get some padding underneath your knee and find some balance here. For standing up, I'm going to bring the right arm up and the left leg back. We're just going to find some balance here. You can hold on to whatever you need to hold on to. So creating some space here. So your right arm is reaching out in front of you. I'm standing up to show that you can do it this way. You don't have to be on your hands and knees. So it's entirely up to you. So find some space in your hips and in your arm. Okay, exhale, bring that leg and arm back. And just stay in your tabletop for a moment, or if you're standing up. Okay, then we'll do it the other side. So the left arm comes out and the right leg comes out. And again, if you need padding underneath your knee, if you're in tabletop, then use some padding underneath the knee. Or if you're standing up, you can hold on to something to stay in this pose. Make sure you're breathing. We're breathing in full and deep. No matter what, try to keep your shoulders level and spacious. You want to create some space through the shoulders, through your chest, through your hips, through your lower back. Okay, on your next exhale, bring the leg back down. Okay, and then we're gonna go into child's pose. So bring yourself into child's pose. So you're on your knees and you're just gonna reach yourself back. Now, if that's not available to you, then you can sit child's pose and you can just reach yourself forwards. Child's pose. Okay, is everyone able to do child's pose? I can't really see anybody, but I can see you, Deborah. I can see parts of you, Rob. Bob. That's okay. I can see bits and pieces of everybody. Okay. Okay, so come out of that child's pose. And we're gonna bring ourselves up and standing up. So however you want to get up, come to a stand. Okay, excellent. We're gonna turn our feet out a little bit. We're only about a foot apart between the heels. Okay, good. We're going to take the hands and we're going to reach them back behind our back. So we're clasping the hands behind us. Okay, and we're going to lift up through the chest. On our exhale, we're going to bend the knees just a little tiny bit, and we're just going to hinge ourselves forwards. Okay. So just relax the arms, the hands on your lower back or your sacrum. So we're not squeezing the shoulder blades together. We're trying to create some space in through the back, but at the same time, we're trying to create space in through the front of the body and through the shoulders. So between the shoulders themselves and between the shoulders and the ears. Okay, so you might need to bend your knees a little bit more because we want to really try to create some space in through the hamstrings and the legs too. Okay, so just go to where you can go. Breathe, lengthen through your neck. Okay, and then inhale, you're going to come all the way back up. Okay, so we're going to release the hands. We're going to take your right leg and bring it forward a little bit. And the left leg is going to come back. Okay, the feet are not very far apart from each other. We're standing up nice and tall here. So first of all, just find your balance here. And we're going to go into a pyramid pose. Okay, so your choice on where you want to have your hands. They can be on your side, they can be out like an airplane, they can be up into the air, they can even be on your hips, okay? So you decide where you want to put your hands. You can even put them onto your shoulders if you want to feel openness in your chest a little bit more. I'm just going to put them on my shoulders. And we're going to hinge from our hip flexors. We're just going to come forwards. And we're just going to go as far forward as you can go. Don't force it. Now the idea here is to create some space here. So when we fight with ourselves, fight with our physical body, fight with our minds, we're not creating space. We're creating chaos, okay? And we're creating a lot of tension, which creates knots and a lot of stuff, bad energy. So we want to try to get away from that. And so don't push yourself or force yourself. Just go to where you can go, where you can feel you're at ease and there's space. So space in your mind and space in your muscles and in your physical body. Okay, on your inhale, come all the way back up again. And then if your arms were up, bring them down. And we're going to take a step forwards. So now we're in Tadasana. And we're just going to take some time here just to reflect on what happened. What happened when we just did that? What happened to you? What were you thinking? And what did you feel in your body? So all the different sensations. Okay, and then we're gonna do the other side. Okay, so left leg is forward this time, and the right leg is back. And again, adjust your stance. Make sure you're equal, have equal weight between both feet. And then bring your arms to wherever you feel like you want to bring your arms. Maybe you want to change it up this time. Okay, but just think about opening up and creating space in the chest and then in through the back. And then we're going to fold ourselves forwards. Again, only going to where you feel at ease. We're not trying to create tension or fight with ourselves. Create some space through the breath, in the body, in the mind. Try not to grip anywhere. If your arms aren't working where you just put them somewhere else. Maybe they need to float outwards like in an airplane to create more space there. You decide what works best for you and what kind of sensations come up with that. Where do you feel the most spacious? Breathe through that space. Let's take one more breath here. And then bring yourself all the way back up. Bring the arms down, take a step forward, and again, take some time to reflect. Notice what you notice. Okay, we're going to do that all one more time, just so you can get a better grasp of it. Okay, so we're going to have the right foot forward, left leg back, and you'll know exactly where you need to either imagine or improvise or change it up so it suits you. So standing up nice and tall, and then we're going to hinge forward again, coming into our pyramid pose. Bring your arms to wherever you feel like you can stay and have more space. So that might be out front. I don't like that. I'm going to bring my arms out to the side. And again, trying to feel the space through the front part of your body, back part of your body, through your limbs, through your whole physical body, and through your mind. Try to root down through both feet. We're going to take one more breath here. Make sure you're breathing. Make sure your breath isn't getting stuck. And then inhale, bring yourself back up. Take a step forwards, release it, and then take a time to reflect. Reflect on what just happened. Okay, let's do the other side. Left leg is forwards, right leg is back. And again, remember what happened on this side just previously and what you need to adjust. Stand up nice and tall. And then hinge yourself forwards. Bring your arms to wherever they feel right, where you feel some space. Breathe through that space, making any adjustments that you need to make. Remembering not to struggle or fight with yourself. Keep adjusting until you feel it's right. Even if you have to use your imagination, there's nothing wrong with that. Let's take one more breath here. Equal weight between both feet. And then lift yourself back up. Take a step forwards. And take a few moments to reflect. Okay. Let's bring the weight into our right foot. Bring our hands towards our heart, spreading out the fingers, creating some space there. So right foot, you're going to put the weight into your right foot, and you're going to take that left leg and you're going to reach it back. Okay, and then you're gonna plant that foot. So we're gonna plant it to 90 degrees. Okay, so we're gonna bring ourselves into a warrior two. So we're gonna bend into that right knee and bring the arms out. Okay, you might need to move your foot ahead a little bit. Okay, so your right knee is right over top of your ankle. Your body is right in between. Your left foot is 90 degrees to the right foot. Shoulders are down. Now we find some space here in our warrior two. Okay, just floating the arms. Okay, so we're gonna move ourselves into a triangle. So we're gonna straighten that front leg, but make sure that you don't lock the knees. You have equal weight between the legs. Now we're gonna find some space between our shoulders and our hips and our arms and our face and everything. All we're gonna do here is we're just gonna tip ourselves forwards. Tip ourselves forwards. We're not reaching towards the ground. That right arm is just gonna connect to our part of our body wherever it connects. Mine is just above the knee. My left hand, I can reach it up a little bit higher, but perhaps I want to bring it down onto my shoulder so that I don't have my shoulder cave in. I keep it open. And then my head, I think I'm just gonna keep it into the center. I could look down if I like, or I could look up, but I think for now, I think I'm going to keep it center. So you find out what works for you. So we want to find some space between the legs, between the hips. We don't want them caving inwards. We want to keep them nicely open. But finding a place where we can stay and be at ease and we're not fighting with ourselves here. Make sure you're breathing. Everyone looks really good. Excellent. Okay, and then we're going to bring ourselves all the way back up. Bring the arms out, bend back into that right knee. So we're back into our warrior two. Okay, then we're going to inhale. We're going to bring the arms down and straighten that front leg. Okay, take a breath here. Inhale, we're going to bring the arms up, bend into the knees. Exhale, straighten the leg, bring the arms down. So we're just going to do that a couple times. Okay, thinking about that space. Bend into the knee, arms go up. Exhale, bring the arms down, straighten the leg. Let's do that one more time. Big breath in here. And then exhale it here. And then we'll bend right back into our warrior two. Okay, we're going to try that triangle one more time. So let's look over that right hand. Straighten that front leg. And tip ourselves over. And then we're going to take that left hand and you can either reach it right up towards the sky or bring it onto your shoulder, or you can even bring it down by your side if you're not feeling that you want to open up your shoulder that much. I'm still opening up my shoulder a lot, but my arm is down. So you decide what works best for you. Try all three and figure out what feels best in my body. And in my knees. Don't lock the knees. Always have a little tiny bit of mini bend in there. Okay, and then we're going to inhale, bring ourselves all the way back up, bend into that knee. We're going to do a little bit of a pivot so we can bring our hands towards our heart, pivot that back foot, and then take a step forwards. And we're right back where we started. Okay, bring the arms down. And just take a moment here and just notice. We're taking time to reflect. This is when you get that connection of the brain and the body working together. This is called neuroplasticity. And it's that connection We really want that connection. We want the brain to catch up with the body. It's usually a little bit of a delay there. It's like when you eat something really, really fast and your body doesn't feel full because your brain hasn't had enough time to process it. This is what we're doing. We're processing right now. Okay, so let's bring our hands towards our heart again. We're going to do the other side. So shift your weight into your left leg. I'm going to turn here. Shift the weight into your left leg. Pick up the right leg. And we're going to bring it back behind us. And pivot it so it's 90 degrees towards that left leg. And you can open up the legs a little bit more to have a little bit more stability if you like. Your body's right in between. And then we're going to reach the arms out, bend into that left knee, and bring ourselves into our warrior two. So that left knee is right over top of that ankle. Okay, and we want to make sure that the knee is not caving in because that really puts a lot of pressure into the hips. Okay, your body's right in between. Soften through the shoulders. And we're going to look over that left hand. Equal weight between both feet. Okay. So on our next breath, we're going to straighten that front leg and tip towards the left. So we're going to tip forwards. And just notice that this side is totally different than the other side. How you deal with it here is going to be different. So what are you going to do with this right arm? Maybe it's going to stay up. Again, maybe it's going to come down onto the shoulder. Or maybe the arm is going to come down onto the right side of your body. So you decide where you want that right arm and where you want your head. Do you want to look down? Do you want to look neutral? Or do you want to look up towards the ceiling? You want to find a place where you can stay and you're not fighting with yourself. You make sure you're breathing. Make sure you're breathing. If you can smile and breathe, it's even better. Okay, let's come all the way back up. Arms come out, bend back into that knee, and then bring the arms down. And we're going to straighten that leg. Okay, so we're going to inhale. To remember what I just did here. Okay, we're going to inhale, bring the arms up. And then exhale, bring the arms down, straighten that front leg. Inhale, bend into the knee, arms come up. Exhale, straighten the leg, arms come down. A couple more times, just breathing and moving. I'll do that one more time. Big breath in, big breath out. One last time. Okay, next breath, bend into that right knee. Arms come up, back into our warrior two. And we'll do our our triangle one more time. Pyramid and triangles, they're kind of the same shape, aren't they? Okay, shoulders are relaxed down. We're looking over that left hand. And then we're going to straighten that left leg and tip ourselves forwards. So knowing now what we know about doing this side previously, what are we going to do with our heads and our arms? So maybe the arm's going to come up higher, maybe it's going to come onto the shoulder, maybe down side by our side. So you decide what works for you, but keeping ourselves as open as we possibly can with our breath, with our physical body, and with our minds. To have everything a lot more spacious. Try not to clutter. So bring yourself into a place where you feel space, wherever that may be. Okay, on your next breath, bringing ourselves all the way back. Arms come out, bend into that right left knee. We're back to our warrior two. Okay, and then we're going to bring our hands towards our heart. Pivot the back foot. If you need to hold on to something, do, and then take a step forwards. And then bring the arms down, and we're back to our Tadasana. We're just going to take a few breaths here. Oh my goodness. Take a few breaths here. Breathe. Okay, and then we're going to make our way down onto the ground. So I love to do malasanas. Some of you are just not going to be able to do this, so you can bring yourself into somewhat of a chair, or even have a chair behind you. So bring your hands towards your heart, and we're going to come down. And we might not come down very much, but creating some space in through the backside of the legs and the buttocks. Okay, you might be able to get all the way down. That might not be possible for some of you, so don't fight it. Go to where you can, and then bring your hands down, and then come into a seat. Okay, and then find a seat. And actually, I think what seat we're going to work on is our butterfly. So bringing our feet, the soles of our feet together. So that might mean the soles of our feet are really inwards, or you can bring them out a little bit more. And you can sit on something too. So sometimes sitting on that something will help to tilt the pelvis a little bit. So if I sit on a blanket, my pelvis is going to, the bottom of my pelvis is going to tilt backwards, and the top of my pelvis is going to tilt forwards, and I'm able to sit a lot more comfortably with my spine a lot more taller and erect. Okay, so we're in our butterfly pose. So we're just going to hold on to either your thighs, your knees, or your shins. Okay, so we're not fighting it. If this isn't working for you, change it until it to something else that works better for you, because we're going to stay here for a little bit. Okay, so we're feeling the space that we're creating in our inner thighs and in our hips. Okay, so we're going to take our right hand, we're going to lift it up, and we're going to place it towards the space between your shoulder blades. It might not reach there. Don't force it, okay? We're not talking about forcing it. So we're going to create some space in through our armpit and our upper arm, okay? And we're going to take the left hand and we're going to reach it back, and we're going to try to see, perhaps imagining that we can hold hands with our hands together. They might touch, they might not. Don't worry if they do or not. We're not trying to reach the hands. That's the ultimate thing to do, but that's not our intention right now. Our intention is to create some space in the chest and in the arms, okay? And sitting up nice and tall. Okay, if you want, you can close your hands, and maybe you can even imagine that you are holding hands. I'm not holding my hands, so I'm not even anywhere near. So don't force it. Just hold it here, and just envision all the space that you're creating in your upper body and in your lower body. And while you're envisioning that, notice what's happening with your breath and in your mind. Because if your breath is getting stuck, that means it's not open any longer. And if there's words and things that are happening in the mind, like, oh, I hate this, blah, 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 that's creating a lot of chaos. So we're not trying to go towards that. We're trying to go towards some space and some peace. Space and peace kind of works together. Okay, let's release that. Let's release that left arm. Release the right arm. Bring it down. And then we're going to give ourselves a hug. And we can tuck the chin. And again, we're not grabbing and pulling. Just softening through the shoulders, creating some space in through the back. Okay, and then release that. Then take your knees and put your hands underneath your knees on the outside of the legs, and then just bring your legs to close. We're just gonna hold it here for a moment. You can give yourself a hug again, or you can sit up nice and tall. We're just gonna stay here for a moment before we do the other side. Okay, and then let's open the butterfly again, open those knees again, feet are together, okay, and then settle yourself once more down. It might be easier this time, maybe not. Okay, so let's take the left arm, reach it up, and then we're going to take that hand and reach it down between our shoulder blades. This arm might be easier, and it might not be. Okay, just think about the space you're creating through this tricep muscle and through that left side of the body, all the way down, okay? And then you're gonna take the right hand and you're gonna reach it back behind you and perhaps walk it up and maybe see if it can reach the other hand, and it might not. So again, don't force it, just go to where you can go, that you can feel at ease here, okay? Trying to make the head as much erect and not crooked. This isn't working for you, you can always place your hand on the top of your head too. That's always an option. Don't force it. And just hold yourself here. Just think about your creating space. And if for whatever reason you're not moving in this pose, imagine that you are. You're going to have pretty much the same amount of benefits. So close your eyes if you want to. You can go inwards a little bit, imagining all the space that you're creating in your body. When there's space, there's a lot more calmness, there's a lot more peace, a lot more clarity. Much easier making decisions as well. Okay, let's take one more breath here. And then we're going to release that right arm, release the left arm, and give ourselves another little hug. If you remember which arm was above, I don't. So if you do, great, then you can use the opposite. So just give yourself a little hug, just create some space in through the back. Soften through the shoulders. Okay, and then release that, and then bring your hands onto the outside of your knees, and then close the legs. And then just give yourself a little hug here if you like. Good, and then you're gonna just stretch your legs out in front of you. Stretch them out, creating some length and some tons of, okay. Stretch. Okay, and then we're going to lay down on our backs. So begin to lay all the way down onto your back. Keep the knees bent. And we're going to walk the feet to the outer edges of your mat. We're close enough. If you don't like your legs this far apart, you don't have to. Adjust it to how it feels good. You can bring your arms however you like. And we're just going to do some little windshield wipering here. So only go where you want to go. So we're just doing a little bit of a twist here, side to side. And what this is actually doing is creating a twist in the spine, but it's creating some space there as well too. So if you want to, you can move your head in the same direction, or you can move your head in the opposite way. And that will create even more space. But again, don't force it. Just feeling that movement of rocking from side to side as the knees move over one side and then the other side. If you feel like pausing at all on either side, you may do so. I don't think we really need to do that today, but you can if you want to. So we're not going fast, we're moving in time with our breath. It's nice and slow. Okay, and then we can bring the knees back to center. And then extend the legs out and give yourself into a little savasana. So just allowing the body to slowly and gently become at rest. So let go of any expectations. Let go of all that we were doing. And just give in to resting right now. That's your main focus, is just to rest and relax. And just watch yourself breathe without putting any control anywhere. Very, very peacefully bring your awareness again to all the space that's around you. And then begin to move your fingers and your toes to gently reawaken. Allow the breath to get a little bit deeper. Whenever you are ready, give yourself a nice little stretch moving around whatever you need to move around. And then move into a fetal position. Just give yourself just a little chance to be reborn into the new person that you are. And then push yourself up into a comfortable seat. And then just do a little check-in on how you're feeling. Close your eyes again. Get yourself comfortable. Sitting up nice and tall. And just notice to begin with the space that you feel in your body and in your mind. You might notice something different. You might notice that there's more space. Maybe you don't. That's perfectly fine. You might notice a little bit. Remember, it's not just physically or mentally, it's sometimes emotionally. It's sometimes maybe through a perspective, or through just more of an open mind. That's where you might feel it. Okay, so now bring your awareness back towards your breath. Just notice the way that you're breathing. We're just going to do a little bit of a breath exercise before we close our practice. So feel yourself breathing. Allow the breath to grow. Beginning that yogic breathing, the belly's moving in and out. Feeling that nice, gentle flow of breath moving up through your crown of your head and then down through your pelvis into the ground underneath you. Okay, and now on your next breath in, you're going to start to count your breath. And then as you exhale, see if you can get your exhale to be the same count as your inhale. We're not struggling or forcing it. Next inhale, see if you can do the same count. And the same count as you exhale. And then the next time you inhale, see if you can add one more second onto that. So if you're counting for a count of 5, see if you can inhale for a count of 6 and exhale for a count of 6. If you were inhaling for a count of 5. If it was something else, you just add 1 second. So again, we're not struggling with this breath. We're just taking 1 extra sip. Okay, and then now next time you breathe in, see if you can take 1 more sip. So if your count was 6, maybe you can get up to 7. And you can exhale it out for 7. Again, taking your time, not struggling, feeling the space that you're creating in your lungs as you breathe. Let's do that one more time. Take 1 more sip in when you inhale, 1 more sip out as you exhale. See if you can grow that breath by 1 more second. If it's too difficult, then just keep it where it is. Just feeling that space that you've created in your body with your breath. Okay, and then on your next breath, open up your eyes. You're gonna bring the arms up, breathe in. And as you exhale, open up your arms nice and wide. Inhale the arms all the way up. And we're gonna sigh it out with them through our mouth. Let's do that one more time. Inhale the arms up. Exhale it out. Inhale the arms up. Sigh it out. Good. Bring your hands towards your heart. Bow your head. Take a moment to reflect. Give yourself some gratitude for your practice, for creating some space. And let's finish our practice with one Om. So inhale through the nose. Sigh it out. Inhale for one Om. Namaste.